Hey ladies, guess what I have? I got elastic thread. Look at that. I got it on Amazon. I got a black one and a white one. I figured that would cover pretty much all projects I'm gonna be doing. And I'm gonna do shearing with it. Now in class, we learned that you take your piece of elastic and you stretch it and you zigzag over it. And as you do that, this will bunch up. And then you do the next line and the next and the next and the next. So with this one, what you do is you wind your elastic thread onto your bobbin. Now you don't want to wind it really tight, and you also don't want to wind it really loose. So you just kind of put it on there like that, and then you set it inside of your machine. Okay, and you bring it up with your top thread. Let's go fetch it. All right, here it is. Come on, wherever you are. All right, so there it is. Now, remember how I always tell you to cut your mustaches? With elastic thread, you will not. And the reason you will not cut your mustaches is because you cannot do backstitch to reinforce your seam. What you have to do is pull both of them to the back side and tie them in a knot, the top and the bottom. Okay, we're gonna do that when we get to the end of it. So for the time being, let's test out this new toy. All right, I'm still learning how to use my phone. So I've drawn my lines, and they're, I don't know, a little less than a half an inch apart. They're saying the closer together, the more shearing you're gonna get. So I'm gonna put my needle in on my line, and I'm going to hold my thread because I don't want it to get sucked in and get all bunched up. And here we go, wish me luck. All right, it's sewing nicely. Oh, sorry. All right, and when I get to the end, you see it's already shearing. So what I'm gonna do is, you see how I just pulled the front thread to the back? You see what I'm doing? Okay, and then you want to tie them together. And if you're going to do this type of knot, I recommend you do it 2 or 3 times. So spin, 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 tie it, and again. But it's best if you do this kind of knot, where you loop them together. I'm trying to work around my phone, and I'm not very good at it. Can you see what I'm doing? Because I can't. Loop it around, put it through the hole, and then you push it. Yep, I'm not good at this. Anyway, you tie it in a knot at the back, and then you clip off the mustaches, and there is your shearing. So that's one way to do it. When you get to the other end, again, you are going to leave yourself a pretty good sized tail, because you're gonna have to tie them. Remember, we talked about that, just like you did on the other end. All right, so that's the first one. The second one I'm going to do is where you're gonna zigzag with regular thread over your shearing. I'll be right back. For this one, I'm using regular thread in my bobbin and regular thread on the top. Let's fetch the bobbin thread. Where is my bobbin thread? There it is. All right. And what we're going to do for this one, I'm going to put my machine on zigzag. And I want my zigzags to be pretty wide. And I guess a 5 in terms of length, of stitch length. Not very long, but also not very short. And your zigzag, you want it to be pretty wide going across that elastic. So let's do this on this other end. So what we're gonna do, here's my spool of elastic thread. I'm gonna lay it over the top, and I'm just gonna zigzag across it. Put your needle in. Do you see where the needle goes over to the side of the zigzag? Okay. have to hold my threads, otherwise they get sucked in and I have a big mess. So while I'm at it, I'm gonna hold my bottom thread, my top thread, and I'm also gonna hold the elastic. Why not? Where's the elastic? Ah. All right, and so my goal is to hold the elastic over the line that I drew and to zigzag across it. Can you see? Okay, I'm not very good at staying on a line. Let's see if I can do better. Trying to look around the phone. I need a videographer. That's what I need. All right. So basically I'm zigzagging over the top of the elastic. When I get to the end, I can reinforce it. Sure, why not? Okay, and then we have no pull to it. That's all right, because what we're gonna do, I'm gonna cut my mustaches long just in case I decide to do something. What we're gonna do is we're going to tie one end like we did on the other side. We're gonna pull everybody to one side and tie it. Where is my back thread? There it is. Come on out. There we go. And we're going to tie everybody, the elastic and the thread, everybody together. Tie it. Do 2 or 3 times. Loop it 2 or 3 times is what I mean. Because if you just loop it one time, it could very easily slip right out. And then you pull it. And then you do your second knot. Again, you do 2 or 3 times. I lost one of the threads. Well, you get the gist of it. I hope your hands are more cooperative than mine. Okay, come on. What's the problem here? Twist, 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 and pull. There we go. So one end is nice and secure. Now this other end, I'm going to make my shearing. So I'm just going to pull it. So that's another way if for whatever reason you cannot feed your elastic through your bobbin. So this is really cool because you can do your shearing. Now the deal with this one, you will have a zigzag on the front, which of course if it's the same color thread, it doesn't matter. With this one, you also have a straight line over the front. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. And once you've pulled your shearing as much as you want, then you're going to pull your threads all to the same side. And you're going to tie them in place to make sure that this elastic thread doesn't go away after that. And that's how you use elastic thread. Isn't that exciting?